Hello, everybody. Wow, there's so many people here. I'm really excited to see that. I'm Daniel Pomerantz. I'm the CEO of Honest Reporting. And we're here today with Suzanne Lieberman, who did an amazing job organizing and setting everything all up, as always. And today, our special guest, who is Itamar Marcus. And Itamar Marcus is the founder and director of Palestinian Media Watch, which is one of the foremost authorities on Palestinian ideology and policy.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Daniel, and thank you, Suzanne, for inviting me to give this presentation today. I always have enjoyed the cooperation that we've had together with Honest Reporting, together with Palestinian Media Watch. Now, the topic of today's topic is the world of the Palestinian child. And the reason why this is so important is we have learned at Palestinian Media Watch that it is far more important to know what Palestinian children are watching on television, what Palestinian children are hearing in schools, the lessons they're learning from their leaders. It's much more important to know that than it is to know what the Palestinian Authority is telling the President of the United States. Because what the Palestinians are telling their children is what they really believe. And what the Palestinians are telling their children is going to determine whether we have peace in the next generation or not, of the internal Palestinian world. And I'm going to start with something which is, you're thinking is so innocent. This is Palestinian sports. Why would we study the sports pages of Palestinian newspapers? And the answer is that even in sports, we find very significant things. For example, this is an article that appeared in the Palestinian press about the Dalal Mughrabi Sports Festival. As you can see here, all these are young girls. There are many, many participants. A number of schools participate. All the girls in the tournament wore sweatshirts with the picture of this Dalal Mughrabi on them. Now, this was an official Palestinian Authority school. Who was this Dalal Mughrabi who's being honored by a sports festival named after? Dalal Mughrabi hijacked this bus in 1978, murdered these 12 children together with 25 adults, altogether 37 civilians murdered. This was the worst terrorist attack, most lethal terror attack in Israel's history. And this person who led this attack is the person who the Palestinian Authority thinks should be a role model for children. This is the highest religious figure in the PA. He's the Mufti of the Palestinian Authority. A few months ago, he explained exactly why Israel cannot exist, why there is only Palestine. And it's very important because this is a religious figure. It's not something, but Palestinians are very religious people. He's saying this is something you can't compromise on. Now listen to what he says, how Israel is defined. First you have the interviewer and then you see his response.
جميع الفتاوى الشرعية اللي صدرت عن علماء الأمة أوجبت القتال ضد اليهود المغتصبين ولم يختلفوا في حرمة التطبيع مع الصهاينة، لكن البعض يقوم بتأويل هذه النصوص ويبارك خطوة التطبيع.
النصوص واضحة تماما بأنه إذا اغتصب شبر من ديار المسلمين أصبح الجهاد فرض عين على كل قادر على.
This is the way all the maps of the Palestinian Authority looks. This was published by Fatah just a few months ago. And what the text is on top, here we remain, we will not leave. Palestine is a goal that dignifies. Here we are and here we remain. That's the message. We will not leave. This is Palestine. This is it in a Palestinian school book. This is a map that appears in a school book. Of course, you see the Palestinian flag over the entire map, and the text with this flag and map is components of the state, the geographical area. This is the state of Palestine, according to a Palestinian school book, and this is the state of Palestine in all the Palestinian school books. This is the message to the kids. Now, you're the first group that's actually going to be seeing this video. This was on television on a children's program, just literally 7 days ago, January 10th. And I want you to see how this message comes. You saw it coming in school books. You saw it from religious leaders. Now look how they're giving it to children on a children's program. The message is there is no Israel. Everything is Palestine. Look at this.
السهل الساحلي الفلسطيني هو وجه فلسطين نحو البحر المتوسط والعالم العربي ونقطة احتكاك حضاري بين الشرق والغرب ويمثل بوابة فلسطين للعالم. يمتد الساحل الفلسطيني من جبل الكرمل شمالا إلى رفح
على الحدود المصرية جنوبا، ويقع بين المرتفعات الجبلية الفلسطينية شرقا والبحر الأبيض المتوسط غربا. فيه العديد من الموانئ مثل ميناء حيفا وعكا ويافا وأسدود وعسقلان وغزة، وقد توافدت عليه مختلفة عبر العصور طمعا للاستفادة من موقعه، وما زال الساحل الفلسطيني تحت.
Okay. What's so clear, of course, to anyone who's familiar with Israel is that literally the Palestinian Authority still, until this day, is teaching their people that there is a world without Israel. How does this come to children? This was an item. This is a program they have on TV now. Children in refugee camps. Listen to the way this boy, who's a 12-year-old from a refugee camp near Ramallah, listen to the way he describes where he was born or where he lives or where he's from, even though he was never, ever in the state of Israel.
عبد الرحمن بابا طفل عمره 12 سنة من مدينة اللد، وعايش بمخيم الأمعري مؤقت لأنه راجع للد. اللد بيسكنوا الحنين وبيرتقي بالآتي.
اليهود سلبوا أرضنا منا، وأنا صار لي 12 سنة بنظر، وأبوي صار له 40 سنة، سيدي له 70 سنة بنظر، لأنه اليهود اغتصبوا أرضنا وأخذونا وسكنونا في المخيمات. وأتمنى أرجع على اللد مدينتي.
بتحس إنه بكرة رح نرجع؟
بحس حالي بكرة راجع.
Okay, I feel I'll return and liberate Palestine. I've been waiting 12 years, my father longer, my grandfather longer. This is the message. And this is, again, we're talking about Lod here. We're talking about a city right near Tel Aviv. And the Palestinian Authority is presenting it as if it's something that all we have to do is liberate Palestine and we'll get it back. And this is the message. And again, any Palestinian leader, when they tell people in Washington, we recognize Israel's existence, right to exist, it is a complete lie. And you're seeing here just a few examples. This is a consistent message that has been coming since we started watching. As I said, it is continuing literally until this day. And you were the first people to see that video. This is a Palestinian Authority religious figure on TV. Tell you about what position he got afterward. But on TV, he had a weekly religious program. And look what he said on TV. Humanity will never live in comfort as long as Jews are causing devastation throughout the land. Then he said, an old man told me, if a fish in the sea fights another fish, I'm sure the Jews are behind it. Now, what is he saying here? Humanity can't live with the Jews. Why? Because every problem on earth, even under the sea, is caused by the Jews. Why? Because Jews are connected to Satan. Jews are connected to Satan. Everything bad that happens. So if you see wars around the world, if you see famine, anything bad that you see happening in the world is because of the Jews. So this man had a weekly program on official Palestinian TV. And then look what happens. He has a meeting with Mahmoud Abbas, who then appoints him to be head of an entire school system, dean of the Al-Azhar schools in Gaza. So not only is he now presenting this vicious anti-Semitism on television, he's actually presenting it to students in the entire school system. Now, I want to give you some examples of recent music, terror through music, literally calling for terror through music on official Palestinian TVs. Okay, the words are just not imaginable, but again, this is official Palestinian Authority productions. This is something that appeared a little over a year ago on Fatah's Facebook page, and it's one of the worst messages we ever saw to children. Listen to this. This is a little girl reciting a poem. What was so significant is Fatah saw this interview that she had done originally on radio, and Fatah put it as a visual on their Facebook page for all their 70,000, 80,000 followers to see. Listen to this message to children.
فأمه وعدته بهدية إن هو أنهى طعامه تساءل بجنون ألعبة تكون أقبلت أمه بطلة بهية تحمل الهدية نظر إليها فإذا بها بندقية صاح بأعلى صوته يا أمي يا أمي ما هذه أهذه هي الهدية ضمته إليها واحتضنته بيديها وقالت يا بني لم نخلق للسعادة فأنت في نظري مشروع للشهادة فالقدس لنا وسلاحنا إسلامنا وذخيرتنا.
And it's our hope that one of these days, the international community will wake up to the horror that they're funding. And the PA will demand a change, use their funding as a change, and hopefully there will be that change so that we and Palestinians can have a future, a better future in the next generation. Thank you.